In this example, we're going to look at how we can give cells in Excel names. Now, a cell commonly has an address. This cell I've got selected here is C4, and the one below it is C5, and that address is showing up here in the name box. And these addresses are most commonly used in equations. So here we have a very simple equation taking the number of payments times by the monthly amount to give us the total payment. Very, very simple stuff to illustrate how names work. So we have here effectively cell addresses. And what we can do is we can actually give this cell a name to give it a more meaningful presence in the equation. So we're going to go up here, we're going to go to Insert, Name, and then we're going to go to Define. And we can give this cell any name we like. It's suggested monthly payments because that's the text sitting next to it. I'm just going to call it monthly. And you see it refers to, it puts its cell address down here. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to do the same for this one. So I'm going to go Insert, Name, Define, and it's again suggesting months. So I'll just say OK to that. Now in this equation down here, I can now change this to say it's monthly times months. And that gives me the same answer. But as you see, if I'm coming back to this in say 6 or 7 months and I've got a large spreadsheet with a lot of equations in, this now actually makes human readable sense rather than me having to go off and see what's in cell 4 and cell 5. Still works the same way, so if I select the equation, the blue and the green cells light up to show me which ones are actually referencing. What's also nice is if I actually click in that cell, you see the name box now doesn't say C4 anymore, it says monthly. And this cell here doesn't say C5, it says months. And you can work this the other way around. If you use it as a drop-down list, you see you've got all the names defined in this workbook. If you select monthly, it automatically moves your cursor to the cell with the monthly in it, and the same with months. So it's a neat way of making your equations much more readable. Now it's pretty simple in this example, but if you've got a large spreadsheet with a lot of complex equations, doing this method can actually save you a lot of time when you come to debug your spreadsheet, try and find where errors are, or even when you come back in a year's time and think, what did I do here and how did it work? We're going to look at some more examples. Here we're going to actually look at naming a range, not just a cell but a whole set of cells. So I can do it the exact same way. I'm going to select all these cells here. I'm going to go Insert, Name, Define, and I'm going to call these sales 2006. Now, a word of warning here, names cannot start with numbers. So I couldn't have called this 2006 sales because Excel will have complained. I'm going to call it sales 2006. And you see there, now when I've got all of those cells selected, sales 2006 comes up in the name box. If I've only got one of them selected, then it doesn't. But what I can do here, I'm just going to put a quick sum equation in, and I'm going to say sum of sales 2006. And there we have the answer of those sales all summed up. Okay, again, if I select in there, you see the blue shows me the box it's actually referring to. I'll show you one more trick to do with named ranges. Here what I have is a spreadsheet just literally that I want the user to enter their shoe size. I wanted to select it from a list. I've got a list of valid shoe sizes here on this shoe size worksheet. So I'm going to use data validation. There's a tutorial in the tutorial library on this if you've never used this before. And I'm going to do a list, and I'm going to select my list from the shoe size spreadsheet. Now there's a problem here in this Excel feature in that it only ever allows you to accept cells and ranges on its own sheet. So I can't actually reference the shoe size sheet. Well, that's not what I want to do, so I'm going to cancel that and I'm going to show you a way around it. We're going to go to the shoe size sheet, select them, and I'm going to insert a name. Now I'm going to insert it literally by typing it into the box here. and that is exactly the same as doing insert name, it just takes a lot less time. So I've got shoe underscore size is the list from 5 to 10. If I go back here and I go back to my data validation, I can say I want it to be a list, and I want the source to be shoe underscore size. And now Excel's quite happy to take the values off that other sheet. So you can get around that data validation limit. You've just got to use Excel's naming conventions to do it. If you ever want to delete them, just simply go to Insert Name, Define, select the one you want to do, and delete it. Simple as that. And there we have it. A very brief introduction to Excel's named cells and named ranges, and some of the things you can do with them. In future tutorials in the library, we're going to be looking at advanced named ranges, and how once you get to grips with the naming feature, you can do all sorts of clever stuff with Excel.